What's up, fam? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl, Cher. How y'all doing? Okay, just let me know in chat how my audio levels are. Let me know if you guys are able to hear me okay. I am so excited to be back. Oh my gosh, it's been a minute, fam. It's been a minute. I know I've actually had to take some time off to do some IRL stuff, including some acting stuff. And I am back on the stream. And this is my very first episode of Dice Goblins. Whee! Oh, wait. I think I have the appropriate sound file here for this. Hold on. You should be hearing applause. Applause, applause, applause. Okay. We are on the ones and twos. We are bringing you a very special guest today. But first, let me take care of some thank yous. Today's podcast is sponsored by Kraken Dice and by 88 Riddles. As you can see, they were gracious enough to grant me a discount code for their merch store on Etsy. Type in code GAMER, all caps, and you get 10% off of their amazing lineup of merchandise. And right now, their operations are in the process of moving right now out to Arizona. So shout out to 88 Riddles. Safe trip out there to Arizona. And as soon as they've gotten settled in, I'm hoping to have the founder on with us on a later podcast. So that's exciting. And in the meantime, feel free to use that code and you get a discount in their store. I'm wearing, if you guys can see, I am proudly wearing my Goblin Shiny Math Rocks t-shirt. And we're going to get into some of the other merch that they have in their store right now. And of course, once again, thank you to Kraken Dice, who has donated a lovely set of mystery dice to the stream today. So if you want to be entered into the giveaway, you want to type in exclamation point, I am a gamer. All as one word, all lowercase is fine. And I'll get a reminder in chat for you guys for that to pop up every so often, just so that you're aware of what to type. We will be doing the giveaway at the very end of the broadcast, so you want to stay tuned. You want to be here in chat. If you are not here in chat to claim your prize, it will unfortunately go to the next person that my bot will pick as a winner, so you want to stay on for the full stream. But otherwise, so let's talk about some dice, because as the name of the show implies, we got to talk about some dice, fam. Okay. So I recently, and I say recently as in I'd say the past few months, have in fact become a dice goblin. Totally unexpected. Did not plan on loving dice so much, but there's just too many cool sets of dice out there to ignore these days. And we're actually going to be looking at a few websites here, so come on over with me. let's take a look at what we're looking at. So we are on Kraken Dice's website, and they are having a 4th of July sale, and fam, stuff is selling out fast. They've got discounts up the wazoo. You've got buy 3 items, get 15% off each item. You got buy 4 for 20%, 5 for 25%, all the way up to buy 10 items and get 45% off each item. So if you buy 10 items, then you get to take almost half off for all of them. Yeah. So love you guys at Kraken Dice. You guys are trying to bankrupt me though. Just saying. You know you're a dice goblin when you have to set up a dice budget, right? Am I right? So, and I've got some favorites here that I want to show you guys. There is this brand new set called Revolution, and it is a pretty set, y'all. Check out the details, okay, on these dice. They have these little gears that are encased on the inside. For those of our viewers who are actually listeners on iTunes and our audio platforms, I can describe each of these sets to you as we go. So Revolution is a red dice set. It is red translucent dice, and there are small tiny gears cast inside the resin. Also, and they're gold gears, and also the numbering is gold ink to match. Just a beautiful set. I mean, it looks like if you can picture tiny gears set inside of a ruby. I mean, this is a gorgeous set. Definitely thinking about getting me a set of these because my normal color scheme is purple. If you couldn't tell from my backdrop, and those who know me closest know that my favorite color is actually purple. However, as I start to DM more games, I'm always on the lookout for deadly looking dice. And there's just this blood red quality to these dice that is just phenomenal. And looks like they are still in stock. So hurry up and get on in there. There's about 3. They're at 3 left in stock. So hurry up and get on in there and buy those up. Next up, they have Glowquarium, which, by the way, I would love to meet the person that's on the naming committee for all these dice because they're just amazing at it. Glowquarium, right? This is a 14-piece set with a D2 and extra D20. Actually, the Revolution set is the same. They do offer that. Actually, hold on. Let me double check that. No, actually, excuse me. That's a 14-piece set. It is limited run as well. So like I say, currently 3 in stock. You want to get on in there. The 14-piece set usually comes with an extra D20 at normal size, a small D20, and also a oversized D20 as well. What I like to call one of the big whammers. So, really cool set. And going back to Glowquarium, this is a 12-piece set. There is the extra D20 with the small, tiny D20 as well. And for those listening, it is also a translucent set. And you've got little confetti in it, multicolored confetti in pastel colors. And it is filled with both a pastel translucent blue and translucent pink side. So very colorful, very summertime oriented. I look at these dice and I think of just cotton candy at a summer carnival. This is a really fun set to enjoy. And those are all, looks like those just went out of stock, but what you want to do, and what I love that Kraken Dice does, is they let you put in your email address, right? So that you can make sure to get a follow-up when things come back in stock. So that's very, very helpful. And then the next set that I have, okay. So y'all heard how I love purple, right? Triple berry slush. Okay. These are like, let's see how I can describe this. So the triple berry part is like grape, raspberry, and blueberry all rolled into one. That's how the colors are swirled together with a generous smattering of glitter throughout. And they are with silver ink. So this is just a gorgeous, gorgeous set. Already got my order in and looks like they are still in stock. So looks like they're well stocked with this one, guys. If you love purple or blue or blue dice or pink dice, it's like all three of those swirled into one, and it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous set. So I would definitely recommend it. That is also a 12-piece set. Matter of fact, I'm thinking of, I don't know if this happens to any of you, but when I see cool sets of dice, I have a tendency to map out what character that I'm going to play tabletop wise with my dice. And I'm like, these last two in particular, I feel like are like they're unicorn themed almost, you know? Give me like either a cleric or maybe even a warlock with the purple, right? But just a happy-go-lucky warlock that happens to be able to do some absolutely like infernal damage to you. You know what I mean? Like just bubbly, you know, unassuming character, and then you know, a couple of spells that'll like infestation, for example. It'll be the awesome matchup, I feel like. So hey there, Jay, good to see you, friend. Yeah, those wizard sure, I could see a wizard too. I definitely could. Now I'll tell you one thing. Wizard is a class that I have yet to approach, actually. Yeah, I think wizard and like the Hexblade variant of Warlock, and there's like a couple. Oh, and I haven't played a Warforged quite yet either. So there's a few classes that I still have yet to pursue. But you're right. I definitely can see that as a wizard class set of dice too. So with that, let me do this. I am actually going to take a 5-minute break here. What we're going to do is get ready to speak with our lovely guest, who is a powerhouse in the gaming industry. I'm so excited for you guys to meet her. Do yourselves a favor, take a 5-minute break, stretch, grab a beverage, take a bio break, do whatever you need. And we're going to be right on back. See you in a bit. And before we jump in with our guest today, there is one last dice set that I do want to point out to you guys over on Kraken Dice. It's called the Murica. You heard me, Murica. And aptly named, because for those who are listening, this is red, white, and blue dice. As you could probably imagine. So these dice have red and white stripes with a blue field that's filled with glitter. And they're pretty cool. So, in honor of, July 4th weekend, here it is, folks, your patriotic dice. Now, these are pretty dice. But what I found what was more interesting to me was the description. And first off, kudos to the writers over at Kraken Dice who write the copy for some of these descriptions, because they're bananas and I love them to death. Grab your best good friend, Billy Ray Joe Bob III, and head on down to the honky tonk with your brand new Murica 14-piece limited edition dice set. I kid you not. That's exactly what it says on the website. Now, the interesting part, and I will read verbatim from the site because it's very interesting. Originally planned to be a commemorative release in celebration of Independence Day, we recognize that there are many in our country who do not get to experience the same independence and freedom that others may take for granted. So while we cannot change the original intention of these dice, we can change what impact they have upon release. For each set of Murica dice that is sold, Kraken Dice will donate $5 to one of the following selected charities. One of which is Color of Change, which leads campaigns that build real power for Black communities. They challenge injustice, hold corporate and political leaders accountable, commission game-changing research on systems of inequality, and advance solutions for racial justice that can transform our world. They also are sponsoring the Trevor Project, which is the leading national organization providing crisis intervention and suicide prevention services to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning youth. Third, they are working with the National Forest Foundation, which works with local partners and Native American tribes, creating better fish and wildlife habitats, enhancing recreational experiences, and increasing the number and diversity of the stewards of the national forest into the future. And lastly, Fisher House. The Fisher House Foundation builds comfort homes where military and veteran families can stay free of charge while a loved one is in the hospital. Boom, baby. Love it. Love it. Love it. Putting in my order for this. And my chosen charity happens to be Color of Change. So thank you, Kraken Dice, for that. And now, one reminder, coming back from break, those who missed it, we are having a dice giveaway today. Type in exclamation point, I am a gamer. In chat to enter today's dice giveaway, we have mystery dice from Kraken Dice. And you must be in chat to claim your prize. So stay with us. We will be doing that giveaway at the end of the broadcast. And now we are going to introduce my wonderful guest. Infectiously passionate about the worlds of video games and geek culture, my guest today is a leader who has created a compelling and engaging vision and inspires others around it. A two-time TEDx speaker and founder of tech and geek culture company Sugar Gamers. She regards video games as more than just entertainment, but a system of ideas and processes that can move and inspire people to action. The company has won and been nominated for several tech awards, including honoree for Black Creativity Innovator by the Chicago Museum of Science and Industry, and winner of an award from the For Women and Diversity Collective. She and her team have created a unique community, united not only by common interests in gaming and geek culture, but by the mission of promoting diversity and inclusiveness in a space that often suffers from the lack of it. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce Keisha Howard. Hey! Hey! Just diving in here. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, and how you got started in the gaming industry to begin with?
Oh yeah, so started gaming when I was 10. I have all brothers. I'm the only girl of a family of boys, and my older brother is a chunk older than me. They would have their summer jobs and always get the new systems, always get the new games, and I was introverted, and my brothers are my friends. They're my best friends. And that's how I started gaming. My older brother actually even taught me how to read and sort of be comfortable reading out loud by forcing me to play Final Fantasy II like 10 times.
Wow, okay.
So if anybody has played Final Fantasy II, I know that story by heart. Rosa, Cecil, Gold Blaze, all them. Anyways, I digress.
Yes.
I always been a gamer, always been into fantasy novels and geek culture. Dragonlance, if you guys are familiar with that, and just like that that was what kind of nerd I was, but I also lived on the south side of Chicago, and I am this flavor. So I didn't have a lot of friends growing up. This is the 90s, so just FYI, 90s, early 2000s, before Twitch, before it was cool.
Sure.
So, I knew that I was kind of an outlier already because none of my peers were into games. They weren't really into what I was into. And so I felt really lonely, and it never occurred to me to ever pursue a career in gaming, ever. I never saw myself represented. I never knew what job I would pursue. I just didn't know. I knew I played games, I knew I loved them, but I didn't know how I would be included. And so I pursued a career in real estate, luxury real estate, and the recession hit in 2008. And that meant that the directions that I had for life, going to school, getting a good job, keeping your head down, making sure you're just, aiming for success, all that just completely disintegrated. None of that worked, and so I had to start from scratch. Everything I had built my career around dissolved in 1 year in the housing crash.
Wow.
So, on a fluke, back when Craigslist was like the place to go, there was a show called Ultimate Gamer. Ultimately, it was a terrible experience, but I came back home not getting on the show. That's a whole nother story for another day. That's from the secret catacombs of my life. But
Gotcha.
I was kind of upset, so I was like, I'm gonna make my own Craigslist ad, and
that's all that matters.
so I put my own ad on Craigslist, and I was like, hey, are there women out there that want a community that is not competitive? We're going to meet in real life. I don't care what kind of game you play. We're going to play together. I want us all get together and make Chicago a hub for gamers. And I thought I was going to get maybe a couple of people, but I got a lot of people, and the response I got was like, "Oh man, I love games, but I'm not good at them. I love games, but I like Mario Kart, and I don't like Call of Duty, or I don't play Call of Duty. Like, I only have a Switch, or not Switch, at the time it was like a Wii or something, or, you know, whatever Nintendo things. Like, can I be a part of it? Can I just come to the events? I'm not a gamer, but the events sound like they're gonna be fun." And I was like, wow, I was so shocked that I had like sort of stumbled into this void, right? Because, you know, as a nerd, as a gamer, once you get into it, you also have to start sort of proving yourself. Like, did you read those books? And how many of those books did you read? What was in chapter 7 of episode? You know, and it's like, it gets real stressful. So, Sugar Gamers was all about not doing that to people. So I never cared what people knew. I was just happy that they wanted to be a part of sort of the concept. And so it grew. So I started in 2009, and then in the next year or two, I got so many people, so many different types of people who were from the LGBT community, from accessibility community, just like, you know, straight males who were just like, I want to be a part of this too. I don't want to, you know, just game in a homogenous setting. I want to game with a whole lot of different types of people as well. And so it sort of grew from there, and we had all these in-person events. And it was at the time before beercades and before all these things. So I would like convince bar owners to let me take over their establishments and hook up all the consoles to their TVs. It'd be like a sports bar. And I'm like, it's going to be a game bar today. And like I said, this was back in like 2010, 2011. So it was very different sort of culturally in those days. It was before the movements, before Gamergate, before BLM, before Me Too, where we had like more context and more vocabulary to really describe what was going on within like the culture, right? So, but I knew it was like so wrong for gaming, which is like such a extraordinary platform. It has so many intellectual merits. It has so many abilities to bring people together, to not have us represented. I just knew it was wrong. I just knew like I didn't want to continue being a gamer without doing something in that space. Like my older brother, he used to tease me all the time. He was like, you only pick girl characters. And it'd only be one, right? It'd only be like Chun-Li, you know, Cammy, like Storm.
I mean, you know, when you have one-dimensional games and you're playing Street Fighter Special Championship Edition, and you get the room full of guys that's like, why are you playing with Chun-Li though? Like, friends.
What else are you supposed to do?
I'm like, Cammy didn't come along until like a little down the road. Hate to tell you, but yeah. Or Sonya Blade in Mortal Kombat. Right. You know, so much same. The only other female that came up in Mortal Kombat was one chick that it was the one with the fan swords. I can't remember her name.
Not Melita. We are terrible right now. We just we gonna smooth past not knowing that immediately.
But and she's like she's the one that you don't even want to look at the other half of her face, because that'd probably. Right. And then the only other female was like Goro's like girlfriend or sister or with 4 arms and freaking, you know what I mean? I'm like, there was no diversity other than, you know, a white female character, and then one question mark of a different ethnicity, and then a monster woman.
Oh yeah,
it was like, great. Okay,
those monsters.
These are my choices. All right.
You get the monster or the ambiguous. Like, I'm gonna just use my imagination. Like that's what I did with Tomb Raider. I'm just like, is Tomb Raider a black woman? Because like when she first came out, the very first Tomb Raider game, she was brown. She had them soup coolers. She was like, you you know, she was so brown. I was just like, wow, you know, like I didn't really think they was gonna make her like a tan white lady. I was just like, she's just ambiguous American. She gotta be a little black. And then
I love how Yazik MC in chat says, "Hey, I only pick girl characters. Good on you, friend."
Yes, you have options.
Flatline BB says, "Didn't know I was making a statement. I always pick the female avatars." I'm like, yes, you. It is. That's the thing. I think that a table or a group that has more testosterone than estrogen in the room doesn't necessarily clock it like we females do, but we're acutely aware of how many other females are in a room, IRL, for example, or how many other females are at the gaming table.
Amazing.
You know, it's just, there is this history of gatekeeping that I definitely have felt from the time I started gaming, which was in high school. And I'm born in 76. So like, if, you know, from then till now, it's like we've made strides, like huge strides. Now I've got a lot of my favorite, you know, well-known celebs in the gaming industry, all females, making moves, you know, spearheading panels to bring that awareness. Like, we now live in a time where if you're, you know, a person of color or if you're female, you are just as entitled to sit at the table, sit at the console like anybody else. So that's what I love about this time. This is really a historic time that we're living in right now in the gaming space. And, you know, and your story is phenomenal. It's, I mean, you've got to, I've got to know, when you got on stage for your TED Talk, what was the reception like? Like, what was the feedback that you got from that experience?
Well, first, I have to admit that I was so nervous. I was absolutely terrified, but I don't like living in fear. There's something that I resist about it just naturally, where if I feel fear, I'm just like, I gotta do it now. Like, it's just an inner thing in me. Like, if I'm scared, I have to, like, it has to be a logical fear. It can't be like I'm scared because people won't like me. I just gotta do it. It's something in me. And so I had this whole, you know, speech prepared, been practicing way too hard for like 2 months. And I got on stage completely blanked out, just blanked out. I was like, oh my God, there's 600 people looking at me. There's and it's like, it was like the sound effect, like the spotlight came on. Mm-hmm. It was so much. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot not start talking. And so then I started talking and I was like, that was terrible. And I just like kind of hurried up and scurried off stage, WB Frog style. And I was like, that's it. That's all I got, you know? And I felt so bad. I was like, I didn't do a good job. And so then I just, my heart was beating. I had to go to the bathroom right after my speech. And this lady, she like ran after me and I was like, okay, I don't know what's happening. And she's crying. I'm just like, okay, it wasn't that bad, was it? And she comes up to me and she was like, I'm so glad that I came here tonight. My daughter is a gamer. She's a nerd and she's so shy. And me as a mother, I have been discouraging her from playing games because I thought that they made her more introverted. I didn't understand that there was so much opportunity and intellectual merit and joy to be had from playing games. And I'm so glad that you spoke on stage today. And, you know, a Black woman like you representing that gaming can be this way is so important. You changed my life, and I'm going to change the way that I treat my daughter around games. And I was like,
Fantastic.
Like, I mean,
Fantastic. I love that. I love that so much. So, here's one thing. Let us know. Tell us, is there any current projects that Sugar Gamers is involved in, or that you're involved in personally?
Always. So, Sugar Gamers is a community, right? So, like, one of the things I want to do is bring it full circle. So, like, yeah, we're going to have fun. We're going to play games. Yeah, we're going to advocate for underrepresented demographics in games and the way that we can in authentic ways, right? But then the third part is actually creating opportunities in the space. And, living in the Midwest, it's not like California, where there's gaming and tech companies all up and down the coast, or, the coastal cities have all the game things, but the Midwest is not like that. We had like Midway Games for a little bit, NetherRealm Studios, and they're a little small, and they're already insulated. They already got they dudes. So I was like, so how can we do this? So I just started creating projects for us to different people within our community to gain experience and exposure for the things that they enjoy doing, whether it's like narrative design or music or, motion capture, any of those things. I would try to bring it to a point where people can access it. So one of the things that we were working on is a tabletop RPG, and I wanted to do it differently. My goal, I wanted to get Black women from the South Side who had never picked up a D&D game, because we are not privileged in the way that theater of the mind is just something that we think we can do. That's you know what I'm saying? We're
Yes.
taught, especially from the generation that we're from, you got to work twice as hard, 3 times as hard just to be all right, just to be
Always.
right. And it's like, so like the idea of just sitting around for 4 hours imaginating with friends and you an elf or orc, like for a lot of people that's not something that occurs to them as something that's going to be fun. So I had to make a game that would pull people in for that, that mutual storytelling experience. And I wanted to sort of discard some of the things that made playing D&D challenging for people who don't see themselves represented in that space. So, as a community, we created this title called Project Violation, which is...
Yes, indeed. Okay.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and bring up your website here as we're speaking about it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we created maps. The storyline is basically in the future, your class system is your government job that you're, sort of forced to have, and then your rebel job, like your side hustle. And those two things sort of create your class. So you can be represented any way you want to be, right? However you think you want to be is how you can be, because what we have here, at least as we're, continuously prototyping it, is people can just cosplay their characters. And then
Nice.
You don't have to like worry about an artist. You could just cosplay whoever you want to be. And so then we have like all these different characters from the community that are, so here's another one.
Nice.
She's the empath, and I don't know if you can see these very clearly, but...
So basically all of the archetypes are available for you in the box, and you can choose to cosplay as any of those archetypes then.
Or you could cosplay as something completely unique and different, because your classes are based on a job and not on how you look. So you can be your identity, and your identity can be whatever you want, whereas like your powers and your abilities, don't have as much to do with your jobs. Like it's like,
and I see, right? and I see a similar message in what's going on now in the world, where we as people of color are addressing the fact that we have been judged by the way we wear our hair, by the way that we put ourselves together in the business world, And especially if we are in more creative businesses, or creative social and business environments, sometimes your brand is your bright pink hair. You know what I mean? It's so that awareness, within the game's setup is just so timely for this awakening that people are having. And one thing I did notice is there is a differentiation that y'all have made. Tell me, what's the difference between solar punk and cyberpunk?
So solarpunk is exactly like cyberpunk, actually. It's all about the future and, all the technological and scientific advancements we can make. But instead of like sort of applying it to these unsustainable capitalistic practices, we apply, our human genius to create more egalitarian environments and to live in harmony with the earth. So in most cyberpunks, narratives, you see like, things look grim. I mean, you might see something that looks super cool, but everything's like wet and dark and lit by neon lights. If you've ever been in like an old pub with just the neon lights, you're like, this is cool, but if you turn the lights on, you'd be seeing the mice and roaches, scuttling
right.
around.
Very Gibson-esque, Johnny Mnemonic, Chiba City type, which that's been, a staple of the cyberpunk and sci-fi universe for quite some time. And I get it. It's more than likely based on the bleak research that goes into, based on how things are running now, if we don't make change and sustainable change at that, this is what 2031 is going to look like. And so that's refreshing that you guys have this different approach that gives more hope.
Yeah, I mean, solarpunk is not utopic, though.
Okay.
It is just a different reframing of how you imagine the future to be. But, as with anything, we live in a world with so many different types of people and perspectives and cultures and beliefs, right? So what one group of people might think is egalitarian and in harmony with the earth might not be what the other group is thinking. So, in most stories, there is some conflict. There is some, sort of cataclysmic moment, whether that's for somebody's like spirituality, or they're coming into maturity, or if it's for a whole like city or town that needs to be saved. One of the other things that we're trying to sort of incorporate as a storytelling process within Project Violatia is a non-binary morality system. So there's no like good versus evil, gotta get the evil guys, but like more of like everything has unintended consequences. So like let's talk about that. Let's think about that, because most of the people that I've ever played tabletop RPGs with are usually adults that are capable of, critical thought, but not presented with opportunities to make it fun, right? So, that's basically what we're doing. A lot of our motif within Project Violation still does look very cyberpunk, but we're probably going to add more solar punk visuals super soon. Solarpunk is really fun to play with as speculative fiction. It's really fun, and it's a little bit more broad than like Afrofuturism and things of that nature. And it can incorporate that, but it's like a more of a bigger umbrella, right?
And I like the fact that when what I caught on to as you're describing that shift away from just plain old good versus evil, it mirrors the movement in other mainstream tabletop games, Dungeons and Dragons, primarily, of course, that in the past have used systems of alignment to judge where your character fell within a spectrum of behavior. And there's this awakening now that people are less inclined to pay attention to alignment. They're eager to bring other ideas into their game to dictate what kind of behavior their characters have, because in real life, you could be considered affable, personable, charismatic, but behind the scenes, you could be a serial killer. I mean, but
No, kidding.
but for real, like you don't have to just be a single note of behavior, because that's really not how. I know this is fantasy, but ideally, to make that experience more real, I, for one, appreciate the fact that a character can be as fallible or hopeful or going through depression or, put in those real world type of circumstances. As far as role playing those characters out, I know that helps me role play the character to the T when I have that flexibility. So I love that you guys are mirroring that aspect with the solarpunk approach. Fantastic. All right, so we are almost out of time. And what we're going to do, it is coming up on your last chance, everyone, to enter into our dice giveaway, courtesy of Kraken Dice. Type in ! I am a gamer in chat. Type it only once. You will be disqualified if you type it more than once. And you must be present in chat to receive your prize. And before we execute that giveaway, Keisha, I just want to thank you so much for joining us today. Where can folks find you to connect with you?
So if you want to connect with Mimi, just go to gokeisha.com, or you can find me at Sugar Gamer, singular. Or if you want to see what our team is doing, then go to sugargamers.com or on all the social media. So if you type in Sugar Gamer or Sugar Gamers, you're gonna find me one way or another. We out here. We just aren't loud. we're quiet. We're just like we're just quiet, nerdy people. So
well, and I appreciate you for all the work that you guys are doing. Good luck with everything. I, for one, am very eager to see what Project Violatia has to offer coming up. And with that, we're going to go ahead and do our giveaway, and let's see who is the lucky person.
Drum roll.
Oh, snap. It's happening. Here we go. And boom. Oh, snap. Okay. So, we got Yazik MC. Congratulations.
Congrats.
You are the winner of a lovely secret set of dice. You're going to go ahead and we're going to interface later. Go ahead and DM me all your deets and I can get that sent out to you. Once again, thank you to our sponsors, Kraken Dice and 88 Riddles. Keisha, it has been a pleasure. And there is a sign-off that we're going to be doing on this show. And being our very first guest, you're going to be the first one to help out with this. Okay? You ready for it?
Yes.
So, in signing off, we're going to say, love, right? Love, peace, and soul.
All right.
This is how we roll.
I love it. All right. So let me get this right. Love, peace, and soul. This is how we roll. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey.
Yeah,
She got it. She got it. All right now. And well, folks, that has been our show for today. And I thank all of you for coming through as well. Every follow, with every subscription, with every purchase of merch online, you're helping this channel grow more and more, and to be able to bring you high quality content. So I thank you. I thank you so much. And I hope that everyone has a wonderful day and a wonderful holiday weekend. See you guys.